Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you see this. This is Dee with Older INFP-A Assertive Insights. And today we're going to be talking about a little insight for a change. And it's about behind each shadow there's light. So what in the world does that mean? I'm talking about, if you're new, welcome. And I have all kinds of different types of videos in the playlist, so have a look around. Hope you find something you like. If you do, come back and comment below, like, subscribe, whatever. But yeah, we're talking about behind every shadow there's light. And it's talking about, we tend to, I think as INFPs, we tend to, more than most types, personality types, to dwell on, I won't say the negative, well, say the negative is the easiest way to say it, but things that don't turn out as we had expected, I'll put it that way. You can take it where it's positive, neutral, and negative, and a lot of times I take it to be positive in the end, but we dwell on that. And in some circles that, in MBTI, also talks about it a lot, but or typology in general talks about your shadow functions. We're talking about cognitive functions. You have shadow functions. In other realms, we talk about our shadow side. That's usually in astrology kind of way. That works. We talk about a lot of different venues and theories and whatnot in life. They're talking about, with people, talking about their shadow sides. Now, what's a shadow side? Shadow side, in general, is those, or topology, I say those that we don't use that much. But in general, in life in general, it's what we want to not think about, which is similar. It's all similar concepts. No concepts are new, that people just arrange it differently. But it's the part of ourselves that we don't want to talk about, think about. And in astrology, and I'm just going to mention this part to it, is talking about the moon. If it's behind the moon, something's behind the moon, what does that mean? If you get the moon card, I do tarot, you know that. But if the moon card is that which we don't want to deal with, in plain simplistic terms, that which we don't want to deal with. And in life, a lot of it comes out. We can be in denial. We can want to just divert ourselves. But yeah, even the moon has a light behind it. The moon wouldn't shine. There wouldn't be any moonshine without the sun. So, yeah, it needs light. And when you have a shadow, just in general, physically, you look at any shadows, what produces a shadow, I'm doing realistic now, what produces shadows is the light. So, what does all this mean, and where am I going with this? And this is the conceptual part of what I'm talking about. And put it into everyday terms, I usually use examples from my own life, and you can have examples from your life. I can't give examples from your life because I don't live it. So my example is, I talk about my car, and I have spent the best part of June was fixing my car, with one major thing after another expense. June is the month that it will go out, It works fine 11 months out of the year. I will say it's a 28-year-old car. I found out that when it turns 30, it will be officially an antique, and I don't have to get it inspected anymore, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah. So my ISFP daughter came to visit over the weekend, and she was saying my car's trying to tell me that it's tired. It wants to go to the junkyard. It doesn't. It doesn't want to run anymore, and quit fixing it. So that was her thing. That was the message she got from all this, was I need another car. But we've been together for 28 years, and there's really nothing wrong with it. Just parts are wearing out, and parts are harder to find. It's harder to find people to work on an older car. So yeah, so where am I going with this with my car? Where I'm going with this with my car was I got kind of messed up with the brakes, and people who have been taking care of it across the street, I thought were taking care of it every time they do an oil change, every time they do a tire rotation. It's listed on their website that they also inspect the brakes. They do like a 20-point inspection of your hoses, brakes, and everything else. They have not been doing that because my brakes were on metal, and if you don't know anything about cars or brakes, that means you can't drive your car, and it's just going to ruin everything. That means everything's worn out. Doesn't get that way overnight, so they have not been taking care of my car. So anyway, they're just a general tire and service place, and I've been looking for someone to be a mechanic who is a mechanic who likes to work on old cars like mine and appreciates the value of it, because I saw one online that's for sale in the other end of the country, supposedly with 500 miles on it, and it had a new paint job, but it's for sale for $36,000 right now. So I do have something. It looks like junk to a lot of people, but it's not. It's my car. And I've been looking for someone who specializes in that kind of thing, because my former mechanic is on the other side of town, and sometimes he has to keep it a day or two, and I don't have a ride back, and I'm too far for him to take back. And it was convenient when I worked over there next to where his shop is, and I could leave it all day, and he would usually have it fixed all day, or he would I worked so I could make arrangements with people at work to come home. Now I don't. So yeah, so I've been looking for somebody like him, and I put it on Nextdoor. I've been advertising, and I didn't get any answers. But and then I forgot about it. I thought, well, people across the street, maybe I'm being too picky. They're okay. But my gut was telling me that they weren't okay. So when the brake thing happened, to the tune of $1,400, that is, for you don't do American dollars, that's 1,400 American dollars. That used to be a mortgage payment, just for one thing. So yeah. So I inquired for a place. So I went out looking really hard on the internet, and I found a place 2 miles down the road that I didn't know about, and I just talked to them on the phone, and they have been working on, I have a Honda Civic, they have been working on Hondas for 40 years, and he was telling me the ins and outs of what may be wrong. Right now the windshield wiper motor, I think, is dead. I don't have any, it won't pass inspection next year. It has to be fixed by next year. And I can't drive it in the rain, which I normally don't do anyway, but I want somebody to take care of my car. And he was telling me all kinds of things that could be going on with it, that like the people across the street just want to do the most expensive stuff and replace everything. And he's going to give me a loaner car, so I have transportation back and forth. So yeah, so what does this have to do with there being light behind the shadow. What it has to do with, and this is my example, what it has to do with, had my car brakes not been so messed up, and that was to the tune of $1,400, which lit a fire under my butt. Instead of, with INFPs, we tend to just kind of go, okay, whatever, okay, we think, but we don't act. We think more than we act. Own our thinking. I knew I needed somebody, but I didn't do anything about it. But that has caused me to go looking, that shadow part of like, I can't keep doing this. I need a car. Where I live, I have to have a car. Or either I sit home. And that's not an option right now. I want to go. So I said, I've got to really, really, really look hard. I've got to study this. I've got to figure it out. And had that not happened to me, that shadow, that negative of the brake situation, I could have been killed on the road. I almost had no brakes. That's how bad they were. And I'm not too happy with that, but it's in the past. I'm trying to let that go. I have gone out and acted and found somebody, so there's the light. I do feel confident that they can't do any worse. But they do specialize in Japanese cars. So I'll trust them one time. So I think I have found what I've been looking for, sort of, for the past 3 or 4 years. Is somebody like the guy I had that lives across town, where I used to go when I was working. And yeah, so just hang in there. If things aren't going well for you, just remember, look to see, just kind of process it all out. And that's what I did. Instead of saying, I could have done that. I did for a minute or two. I could have done with the brake thing. I don't like the cost. I mean, I could have gone on a cruise probably for that amount of money, or a little bit more. Yeah, I could have had a very nice vacation instead of having to spend that money. I could have just wallowed in my bed saying I'm not getting up anymore, give up, the light world's against me. And I have had that happen to me in my life where I would do that when I was younger. And so I understand that part. And that's getting into the loop. We don't want to get into all that loopy stuff. But just take it as, when it happens, just kind of nip it in the bud and just take it as, what is this teaching me? What do I need? Where do I need to go from here? And it's going to take a few days to process and just let you feel. Just feel the feels. I mean, I wasn't angry. Like, I wasn't really angry with it. I wasn't disappointed. I don't know what the feeling was. Annoyed beyond belief. I felt kind of deflated because it means I have no transportation. If this is going to happen, I have no transportation. That bothered me more than what happened with the brakes. Was that I would be stuck here in this apartment the rest of my life and not be able to go, because you do have to have a car where I live. You can't fight City Hall. We've been trying to have bus coming down here. Nothing. We don't have. The police don't even come down here and check the place out. They may come if there's a crime. When my car got vandalized, they did not come. I filled out they have online forms now. If you want to file a police report, you just put an online form. Everything is very, nothing's personal anymore. So yeah, I live kind of in a little desert area, so I could have done that. I could have just, wallowed in self-pity and said my life's over, which I think I did do that for like maybe a day or two. But then I picked myself up and I said, well, what is this teaching me? What's the good? What do I need to do to change this situation, to change this outcome? And to bring the light in, as we're talking about, the light is behind every shadow, to bring that light in. And so this is what I did, and I have found somebody. The light has come through. I have found somebody. So just work on that and know that this isn't the end when something really, to you, life-altering. It's really not life-altering. It just feels like it's life-ending, life-altering event happens. To just sit in it for a while, but then say, yes, there's a light. Always, I'm in the shadow, but there's a light somewhere. And what do I need to do, or how do I need to go about it to rectify the situation? That's all I wanted to say. Hope you got something out of this, a little insight. And put your comments below. I love to hear your comments. Again, like, share, subscribe if that's your thing. I do appreciate it. And yeah, until next time, I hope everybody stays safe.